I'm gonna say this now, and I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of flack for it, but who cares? This channel can use some flack. Deni Avdija is going to be an all-star within 2 years. Deni freaking Avdija, dude. What's his middle name? Turbo. Deni Turbo Avdija is going to be an all-star, dude. I've seen enough. The proof is there.
You start April with your second career triple-double. How do you make it look easy when I know it is very much not?
It's not easy. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? I still have a lot to grow. You know, I couldn't have done it, the triple-double, without my teammates. But, you know, I still got to take care of the ball a little better. Still got to tweak some things here and there. But, like, yeah, it's fun. It's fun, you know, especially for, you know, we won. So that's what matters.
How can you not root for this guy? This is a guy where Deni Avdija just encapsulates everything that you desire in a player. You know, he has a height, weight, speed that I feel like not that many people talk about. You know, he's obviously athletically gifted. He's very driven. Deni's a driven dude. You know, I know him on an email basis. He told me the other day, he's like, dude, I'm driven. I was like, yeah, I know. You know, but and on top of that, like, he's a guy where he's a leader, and I feel like that's one thing that not that many people talk about. And you know, he's also a fashion designer. Deni's a fashion designer. In case y'all didn't know this, dude. Deni, right? Oh shit. Oh shit. I don't know what happened there. Deni went through a phase here in the DMV. He went through a phase. Obviously, he spent too much time with Kyle Kuzma. Yeah, Deni, if you're watching this, dude, I will never let this go. Never. I love Deni, but I just, what the fuck, dude? Was he on iOS? The more I look at this, the more infertile I'll become, dude. Long story short, you know, I have some Deni fans following me, some Trailblazers fans. Trailblazers fans are the nicest people on earth. I've been saying this for the past 6 months, dude. I have some Wizards fans following me. They know the ordeal, what happened, you know. Deni, I mean, I'm a diehard Wizards fan. Deni was drafted here, 9th overall pick in 2020. You know, he became my favorite player, especially towards the last season with us. You know, he got traded damn near on draft day. I had to be restrained, hospitalized with amnesia. It was a whole stuff that happened, dude. I don't want to talk about his traumatic experience. I also have asthma from that, too. But now Deni is balling. He's balling. And, you know, like, we saw him ball, especially end of last year with the Wizards. And, you know, he's been balling for a while now. But, you know, he did have a rough start to the season this season with the Blazers. But I think right now we're witnessing a step from Deni where he goes from balling periodically to evolving into just a baller. A bona fide baller, a guy who's just consistent with just, you know, spectacular play. You know, I think he's now gone from that dude where, like, okay, this guy has flashes of brilliance to now just baller. And man, in my prediction, all-star baller. But yeah, man, in this video, if you haven't told, it's gonna be about my boy Deni Avdija. I had to make a video. I didn't want to because I've made some before, but I had to make some videos about Deni Avdija, especially on the tear he's going about lately. But this is gonna be a bit different type of video. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. So Deni actually had like a bit of a rough start to the season, all right? Like a 6'9" point forward, got traded to the Blazers in the offseason, and, you know, didn't really have that many consistent minutes, but, like, to start the season off, Deni was averaging only 11.4 points. He was actually a sub 40% shooter from the field in his first 20 games. I also found a stat that this kind of like this really got to me, honestly. Deni Avdija didn't actually crack 20 points over his first 19 games with the Blazers. Like, I think it's safe to say that Deni was going through it. Deni, like, you know, but then again, he changed teams. He changed coast. This man went from the DMV to Portland. You know, he's probably still in Eastern time zone in Portland, dude. He also just, like, he needed to get adapted to the situation. Also, a thing about Deni is that you have to learn how to use him correctly. 6'9", point forward. Emphasis on the points. Coming out of the draft, like, I know this because Deni was like, you know, I was a diehard Deni fan. Still am. But Deni out of the draft was very raw. They had him compared. I'll pull up the websites, dude, to baby Luka. And regarding to his, you know, a big stature, 6'9", I'd say, I mean, he's more athletic than Luka Doncic is. I'm not trying to put him in the same sentence as Luka, but, you know, I'll get to that later. But Deni, the way I see him is like he has that capability. He is the secondary ball handler in a starting lineup. You have to max it. If he is not the secondary ball handler in any lineup, you're not going to fully inefficiently use him to his best of his abilities. You are doing a disservice to Deni and most likely your team. And, you know, Chauncey Billups, it took him some time to, like, realize this too. You know, like, they both had to feel each other out. No pause. No pause for that. No. We're talking basketball terminology right now. Now, Deni Avdija, like, not just as of recently, like, since December, but I'll get to that later. In April, he is averaging 31.7 points, 13.7 rebounds, and 7 assists. On top of that, dude, since December, this is his stats. He's averaging 19.8 points, 8.4 rebounds, 4.5 assists in 32 minutes per game. Great shooting splits with that as well. This is from December 31st until now. That's a long-ass period of time. 19, 8, and 4. These are not just empty stats where he's just contributing to losing basketball. No, the Blazers, there was at one point they had a 10-game winning streak. Like, the Blazers have been winning, even though they've been tanking a bit lately. But keep in mind, he's been averaging 19, 8, and 4 for the majority of the season. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. How many players are averaging that right now in the NBA? 7. I looked it up. I had to look it up. Only 7 players right now average 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. These are the 7. What's the common theme there? They're all all-stars. You know, all of them. Most of them are MVP type players, but Deni's the youngest guy in this list. Deni's 24 years old, dude. I still think Deni has another leap to go. I feel like next year, hopefully, I think next year's going to be his breakout year. I think next year's going to be his breakout year. Like, the proof is there. The proof is there. Like, I keep saying this, but he has to be the secondary ball handler in a starting lineup. He's averaging only 4 assists right now. I think he can get that up to 6 once he reaches his prime, because he's not in his prime yet. And once he does that, there's stuff that he still needs to improve on, like turnovers. Turnovers right now. He said it himself. Daniel averaging 5 turnovers recently in the past couple of games. So he needs to improve that. His ball handling has improved tremendously since he got into the league. But this is a guy where I haven't even got to his defense yet. He's extremely interchangeable on defense, can guard 2 to 5, small ball 5. You know, and dude, I've seen him lock up Giannis Antetokounmpo with the Wizards. And then he'll throw up the X right afterwards. You know, this is Deni. He has that confidence too. The reason why I made this video is because I keep thinking to myself, and now that I see the entire world catching up on Deni, I was just like, because I'm a comparisons guy. I like comparisons. Deni as a 6'9" point forward, like, you just see flashes of, and I don't want to put him in the same sentence, but you have to hear of, like, a different mindset of Luka Doncic, if that makes sense. Obviously, Luka's the way better point guard skills than Deni does, but I feel like Deni can at least scratch the surface of where Luka's at. Granted, he still needs to improve his ball handling, and I feel like he needs to improve also his mid-range game. He does finish at a much higher rate since he first started. Deni has improved a lot. Deni has one thing that y'all don't know about Deni is that he has, like, figured out his body. He figured out his strength. He figured out how to use his muscle. Because in the beginning, he wasn't doing it. He wasn't as tough, especially underneath the basket. You know, you guys see him doing the shoulder move every single time he drives into the basket. You know, but Deni is a guy where I'm just like, no, dude. He has that supreme all-star point forward abilities that people seek in all the time. You know, and I had a friend tell me, they're like, oh, he's Israeli LeBron. And I was just like, oh, shit, dude, you got to convert. Like, what are you? No. My original comparison for Deni Avdija was AK-47, Andrei Kirilenko. Andrei Kirilenko is a badass motherfucker, dude. I feel like I have to adjust that. I feel like I have to adjust. And no offense to AK-47, very much respected player. Deni shooting 36% from 3, which that was my main worry about him, is him consistently hitting the 3, because once he was able to do that in Washington, his game just opened up entirely, and he's thankfully, you know, translated that over to Portland. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But obviously, like, you know, Deni is on one of the best contracts in the league, if not the best contract in this league. And speaking of the Blazers, like, All right, all right. Let's get to it. Let's revisit the trade again. Motherfuckers. All right, you probably trade raped us, man. Who cares? I'd like to say it's a win-win because we got Bub Carrington and we also got a future first-round pick. You know, I think it's 2030. So it looks like you guys got a future All-Star, dude. But Bub Carrington though, I wouldn't say trade rape. It was a consensual one-night stand with the Blazers that we had. We both left the night just satisfied. You know, we got what we wanted, what we desired. You have to factor in the contract. So the contract right there, but you know, who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I feel like I'm giving myself excuses, but you know, people keep saying trade rape. I don't know about that. You know, the Blazers can't trade rape. They're too nice. They're too nice, dude. What are they gonna do? Trade rape us, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, are you okay? You know, you want some coffee beans with that?" You know, they're too nice. I want to end this video with this, and to be on a serious note. Another thing about the ending with Avdija with the Wizards is that I think the Wizards keeping Avdija one more year here or continuously would have been a disservice to Deni, because our first round pick was, I mean, if we didn't get a top 10 pick, it would have gone to the New York Knicks. And we needed to ensure that we tanked effectively, kept our first round pick, and get this, hopefully, a supreme talent in this loaded draft class. And had we kept Deni, obviously he would have lowered our odds. But on top of that, Deni was a guy where he needed to flap his wings. Deni was ready to flap his wings. It was very noticeable, especially towards the end where he did get a bit frustrated with the Wizards. Deni needed a new team where they were also ready to flap their wings. The Wizards right now, we're not ready yet. We're getting there. We got nice young pieces, dude. I'm very happy with the Wizards. But Deni is like, no, now. He needs to do it now. It's time. It's his time now. Drafted in 2020. Deni would be miserable right now in the DMV. We have Jordan Poole as the primary ball handler now. You know, we got Bub Carrington, who would, you know, we got a lot. We're very guard heavy, and Deni, you know, this was a divorce that needed to happen. It needed to happen, but both parties, by Wizards and Deni, were good. You know, Deni is flourishing now with his new partner, and we're flourishing now with our new partners. We entered a polygamous relationship. We got multiple first-round picks. We got new partners. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Deni Avdija. I'm happy for this guy, dude.